Boys and girls, we're going to start painting our Rex Ray Collage backgrounds. So you're going to start with a tan piece of paper. You need to write your name and class code small in the corner. Okay, and then on the other side, we are going to make 4 or 5 lines that repeat to make a pattern because we want to show repetition on our background. So you could have vertical lines repeating, diagonal, or horizontal. I'm going to do 4 wavy lines. We want to keep it really simple. Then you need a paintbrush, and you're going to start always with the lightest color. And we never want to mix these, and I'll explain how we cannot do that here in a minute. So we're going to start with yellow, which is the lightest. Pick which spots you want to use your lightest color and begin painting. Paint carefully next to the pencil lines and fill in the space. It helps if you make long, slow brush strokes and we're just gently wiping. And you need to cover up all the paper, so if your brush gets scratchy, that means you need to add more paint. I'm going to clean my brush. So I'm going to do that by gently wiping my brush side to side on my board. My board is protecting the table from getting paint on it. Okay, I've cleaned my brush until there's really hardly any yellow paint coming off, and now I'm ready to go to my next lightest color. I think I want to use gold. So I'm going to pick up some gold, start painting. Now if I still needed to use yellow, then I would not move on to the gold yet. I would paint all the spots with the one color I had on my brush, and then I would move on to my next color. That way you don't have to go wash your brush in the sink. Okay, and then I think I want to paint this space gold too. So before I change colors, I'm going to paint every spot with the color I have on my brush. Okay, I need to clean my brush, so I'm going to wipe it. Gently wiping, I'm not scrubbing. We want our brush to still have a good hair day. Okay, now I'm ready to move on to my next lightest color, which is the pink. Okay, wipe my brush on the side. Okay, now I'm ready for my darkest color, which would be the red. And I paint all the way to the edges. Okay, then I'm going to put my brush in the sink for Mrs. Whittle to wash later. I'm going to put my pants away back on the tray, and I'm going to carry my board flat like a pizza onto the drying rack. I have neatly painted my background. I've covered all of the tan paper and my lines are very clean. And so now I'm ready to make the collage. I have lots of different painted papers with lots of different textures on them, and you are free to use any of these for your collage. And you can also just use the back. The back of the paper is just plain too, but the textures I love because they have really interesting textures. So there are some tracers that you are free to use if you want, and these have certain shapes that Rex Ray likes to use often. You don't have to use these, but these are some great shapes to start with if you want to. These are all organic shapes. Remember that organic shapes are found in nature and they usually don't have names. So I'm going to set my background aside. I'm going to use a pencil, and if I want to use a tracer, I'll find a spot on the edge of the painted paper, because if we cut it out from the middle, it tends to waste a lot of paper. Okay, once you have a lot of your shapes cut out, and you can make up your own organic shapes too, then you can play around with how you want to glue them onto your background. Okay, I think I found just how I want it, so I'm going to twist open my glue bottle, shake it so it comes down to the bottom, to the tip, and I'm going to flip over my pieces and put the tip of the glue bottle down. Dot, dot, not a lot. Dot, dot, not a lot. Okay, now I am ready to put any scraps that someone else might be able to use back in the scrap bin, clean up my area, close my glue bottle, and then I'm going to put this on the drying rack to dry.